butt in too, feel free to. Okay. It's one of those things, just to fucking have fun with it.
Yeah, if you say something from over there, probably won't be picked up on the mic. So if you want to say something in the mic, you gotta come over here.
Yeah.
Feel free to talk anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to like just be on the side and say some shit and make these guys respond to it, that's good too.
Yeah. Great. All right. Let me know when.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, now?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to episode 13.
Episode 14.
My bad. Welcome to episode 14 of episode 22 with Link in Bio. And today we have Paul Gonzales.
Howdy, folks. Paul Gonzales. It's Paul Gonzales expose. Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Fancy. Yeah, man. Thank you for coming, man.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely tremendous. Thank you.
Ooh, a little sweaty there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm nervous to see you.
Me
seriously.
too. I get nervous every time doing this podcast. But yeah, man, I'm glad you're here. I kind of want to talk to you about like the business side of things.
Okay.
Like how you became where you're at today in the past. So feel free to start it. So what'd you do before coming to Union House?
Before coming to Union House. So for the culture, we came to Union House about a year and a half ago. So like for the culture, the first year and a half, we didn't have like a place. We were just like kind of going everywhere. But then it took about a year and a half when we got the Union House space. So before Union House, it was still for the culture.
Right.
You know.
So you're just like jumping like place to place?
Yeah, we were
like
doing
events, pop-ups?
Yeah, we're doing events like everywhere. Like anywhere that would let us have an event, whether it's a backyard or a warehouse or a business, just like anybody that would let us pull up, that's where we would do it. And it was kind of sketchy. You know, it was kind of sketchy, like never knowing where the next place was going to be.
Right.
Yeah, but it was cool too.
But now you got the spot. Now it's the for the culture.
You know,
one location, everything.
It's the fucking for the culture headquarters. Yes, sir.
Yes. Ah, man.
Yeah.
Besides all that, any other side hustles you did before? Like, how do you like coming up for the business and stuff like that?
No, so I've always been like sort of hustling, you know, that kind of thing. I did photo video. That was my first thing. I started when I was 16 taking clients and like just like, you know, random photo stuff or like small video, like little commercials for the internet and shit. But then it moved into websites. So I started building websites and like
exploring. How long have you been doing that?
I guess. I started learning that when I was like 16 also.
And that was like your main source of income, websites?
Yeah. Websites, the photo video, and then I got good at graphic design. So was
like super hard to do?
Yeah. It was hard. Each of them I learned one by one, and it was really hard to learn. But like once I started like building a tool bag of like a bunch of shit I could do, it started to get really valuable. Nice. You know, because then I could like a lot of people need it. Yeah.
How was like the whole process, like a typical website?
Yeah.
How long did that take?
How long does a website take? Usually at least a month. You know, I used to go shorter because like you could build them fast, but the hard part is building something that people actually like want and like serves their needs and purposes. Which takes a little bit of time because like you got to understand, you know, you got to understand what somebody needs and what their business needs or their career needs. And then you can like create something around that, you know.
Okay. I like that. That's interesting. No, it was really, really cool about that. Like because I tried to do websites back in the day. I just hate it.
Yeah.
It's just too many components.
Yeah, no, it's a lot going on. But once I got into it, I learned to love it, you know. And I think at this point I built like 60 websites like for myself and other people and all that kind of thing.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
nice.
Yeah, it's become like a thing.
Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. So and then this is the year of you guys became like legit, right?
Yeah.
Like you guys had the whole permit for First Friday.
Yeah. So
and all that stuff, right?
That was our very first time doing that, and that was actually really hard and like kind of gut wrenching because it's scary, you know, because like we're going from a place where like it's like underground and like nobody knows about it, like from a city standpoint, to like all right, we have to tell the city. And like government officials, everything we're doing with like, all right, what's the entry? What's the exit? What's the emergency plan? What's the medical evacuation plan? What's the gate plan? What's the security plan?
We need to know all that before applying?
Yeah. No, there's so much, there's pages and pages of information for each event that we got to give to them. But the city's really cool. So like,
what was the whole process? You had to go like down to the city or you apply it online and then you go to you? Or like what's the whole breakdown?
They were actually looking for us, right?
What?
Yeah, they were looking for us. And the hard part is like with For the Culture, we don't follow nobody and like it's not really clear who like runs it or anything like that. So they just saw we were doing events and they knew it was somebody.
But didn't know who.
They didn't know who or what was going on, right? So then at one point I made a decision where I was like, all right, we have to call and like get this straight away because like if not, it's going to get sketchy at some point. So I call and like they're like, oh yeah. And then as soon as I called that same day,
Yeah.
within like, I think it was like 3 or 4 different like bureaus from the city like called me. Like fire called me, like the main lady.
Yeah.
The main lady of like the whole thing called me and she was like, I've been looking for you. And I was like, well, well, I'm glad we can meet now, right?
Damn.
Yeah, no. So they were definitely starting to figure out what was going on and whatnot. So it was like,
It wasn't like a bad thing or anything, right? No.
no, it could have been like if we kept going underground, like
Yeah.
for another year or so, they could have got really pissed. But
Well,
playing ball.
So she blah 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 blah. She finally found you. You guys talked about it. And after that, what was the next step?
Next
What
step.
she say? Like, was it like bad? Like, hey, come in.
No, not even. It was like, all right, you got to start getting some stuff in order, such as like a real security plan, like your insurance, like your site map, your evacuations, like.
Okay, so she basically gave you like a whole list, and
Yeah.
you just gotta like go one by one.
Yeah, one by one, and then submit it every time we want to do an event.
Oh,
But,
so it's every time you do an event, this is what.
time.
Oh, here's today's event. Here's the paperwork, whatever.
yeah, but we've gotten pretty good at it,
Okay.
and it helps because we're always at the Union House, so like we know our plan. Like it doesn't switch that much, and then like it's always the same thing. Like so we just switch out like the vendors and the musicians, and then like
Every
some of
time.
the artistic experience. But for the most part, like gates here, stages here, security's here,
Yeah.
shops here. So that made it really easy. So at this point, we know how to do it. We can get them.
Oh man, March 1st Friday was insane, guys. If you have not seen it, head over to For the Culture LV on YouTube.
YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that.
All that. Check it out.
It was crazy.
Man, it was a line, bro.
It was a crazy line. Special shout out to everybody that did come to the March First Friday. We took a break for 4 months, came back from March.
And it was heavy.
It was tremendous.
Heavy.
It
I was not
tremendous.
expecting that. I was feeling busy, but like a line outside of fucking
That was a crazy line. And everybody loved it. We kept a nice, safe environment. Everybody was happy. So
Perfect. Pretty good. Tell me a little bit more about like First Friday. Like, what's the whole concept with that?
So First Friday's been going forever,
Yeah.
right? Like it's like 15 years old, and then it's like there's been stages where it was smaller and then bigger. Like at one point it was like a mile long almost. Like it went from like the south end of Main Street all the way up to where it is now. But like through time and COVID, it really shrank, So now it's just like in the space where it's in, but they're kind of opening back up to working with more people, which is like sort of where we came in, right?
Right.
So they saw that we were doing like a really tremendous show, and then they were like, hey, if you guys want to just sort of be officially a part of it, we could do that, and that would help because it helps like the street closures and like some of the logistics, getting people in and out.
Yeah.
So that's how that happened. The big idea for the Culture First Friday was to give a stage and a spotlight to a lot of people who wouldn't necessarily get it, or like if that's really the goal, because like it's hard to bring that many people to any sort of event, like talking about bringing like 1,000+ people to like even a concert or like a little trade show type thing, or like places with vendors, markets. Like it's really hard, and for a lot of people it's a great experience because you can't perform for 300 people unless like you're really big, or you can't be in a place with 1,000 people coming to buy your stuff without like paying a bunch for like the main First Friday, or like going like out of state for something. Like it's a
like
rare
whole
place
process. You just pay the entry fee, and then that's pretty much it from there.
Yeah, no, and then like you're good to go, and the goal is to like there's 10 musicians and like 20 to 30 like painters, artists, sculptors, photographers, all that stuff, to give them the largest like platform we can for a night, and then that's the whole idea for First Friday. Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Man, that's
no, and you're there, bro. You're there with us, right?
Bro, I'm gonna be there until the next First Friday, so you guys fired me. Shit, that's just fucking insane.
It was big. Seriously, you had to pull fucking Pat out.
Hey man, Pat did it though. He was really down to fuck for the cause.
Man,
Like,
Pat's got the fucking heart of a soldier, dog.
But you just gotta be a little bit buffer though.
Yeah, no, he's getting there. He's getting there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Howdy, folks.
Yeah. Man, you're dude, he's a trooper, man.
Yeah, no, Pat's absolute.
Yeah. Man, suit and tie, fancy guy over there.
Yeah, no.
So
for
Dex, you want to hop on this?
Yeah, I'll hop on.
Hell yeah. All right, hop on.
sure. What's up, Dex?
He's got the real questions.
Tag team and shit.
All right, tag teaming it.
Yeah, I'll hop on. We got tag team. Yeah, man.
Howdy.
Howdy. No, Paul, an honor, man. I have so many questions for you.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of funny actually, because you and I run in like similar ways, similar circles. We have like definitely similar shared ideals about wanting to create community, support the community that's there, mostly for creatives, and like you were saying earlier, right? Really give people a platform. That's something that resonates with my mission, and so from the very beginning, from when I heard about you, it was kind of funny because like we have so many mutual friends, and like we never like really linked up, right? And so I've always wanted to chop it up with you. Let's go like. Let's give people that are watching a really clear timeline. So you said you were like a year and a half with no physical location. For the Culture is an organization for the culture, right? Trying to give artists a platform here in Las Vegas. And so when did that start? So year one, what year was that?
I guess it really started, the idea came in October of 2018.
Okay. Okay.
So like me and my friends, I have a great friend named Marco 4D, and then another friend named Dan Grams. Who does
shout
photo.
out Marco 4D. He was episode 8.
He was early,
7, 9.
I think he was 10.
Okay, yeah, Marco 4D.
I think he's 11.
Okay, no, Mikey was 11. We know that.
Then 10.
Okay, well, so if you didn't catch the Marco 4D interview, so shout out to Marco. Okay, so
definitely catch the Marco 4D interview. So that's like one of my friends from like when we were kids, right?
Okay.
So we were friends forever. Then we met this guy named Dan, and then we had some other friends we were just like kind of rolling with from when we were young. But we were going to events and like different like artistic stuff or like concerts around the city, and we were like just kind of soaking it all in, you know. But it was still pretty small. There wasn't that much going on. It would be, like for our scene or like for like the younger crowd, it was like once a month, something like that. And we went, it was in October. We started seeing them October, December. We had the idea, right?
Okay.
And it actually happened for the first time January 26, 2019. And
that January 2019. Cool.
Yeah, very beginning of 2019. It's this guy named Marcos, who's he has a boxing gym on the east side, or he did. I think they moved.
Okay.
But he was like, yeah, you guys could use our boxing gym for a concert. That'd be cool, which was very gracious of him. And then we did it, and I think we had 100 people come out or so, which was like
pretty good for your first show.
Yeah, it was beyond our expectations for sure. And then we did it again and kept going, and like they just kept getting bigger. And the main idea was to keep making them better. And that kind of like served us well.
And so a year and a half later, you find a home, Union House, which is just there. I forget the name of the street that's on.
It's on First right there, yeah.
Okay, on First, next to the iconic Snowball, kind of kitty corner to Snowball. And now across the street from that crazy hotel. I'm not going to say that hotel's name, but yeah. Oh, yeah, the English. Yeah, okay. We'll just throw it out there. Yeah, those people came out of nowhere. It's kind of crazy, right? So that's got to be... That's got to be good for you guys, right? Like,
and they're pretty cool too. I think they like what's going on, and you know, it kind of helps them because they have other things going too, such as like bars and restaurants and things. So like, you know, we bring a nice crowd, and I know some of them end up over at the English and whatnot. So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's mutually beneficial, I'm sure. Yeah. So a year and a half. So that puts you like middle of the pandemic.
It was.
Get Union House.
We got the spot in May of 2020. So the pandemic popped off in like March, and then it was around May, June that we knew about the Union House. We'd been there because it's always sort of been a place, but it wasn't. It wasn't like as like. It wasn't like the sort of place we needed it to be, or like it needed to be yet. You know, like there was a lot of opportunity there, but it wasn't quite like what we thought it could have been. So we got a spot, which was. It was me and Numbskull in the very beginning. We were like, all right.
Shout out Numbskull.
Yeah, shout out Numbskull. We were like, all right, you know, we've been wanting a spot for a while. Let's just do it, right? So we did it, and that was incredible. We had that for a year. Then we got another spot, and then that's been pretty incredible. And then we got another one. So like all three of those are inside of the Union House.
Okay.
That's the thing. So we have different spaces in the Union House that we do things.
So the slow takeover, because I've been hanging out at the Union House for a good minute.
Yeah.
Definitely there was your favorite losers.
Lester, awesome.
Yeah, Mike.
Awesome.
Shout out Mike. He's an awesome graffiti artist who used to have his store there.
Yeah.
Shout out Serap and Race, who used to have their store there. Humble beginnings for those guys. You know, well, maybe not so humble beginnings things for those guys, but they've been around for a minute and they're still in the town.
And I don't think we would have ever went there if it wasn't for what those guys were doing. Because, Race was doing the first Fridays back in 2019.
Yeah.
And then Lester was also supporting those. So, like, those guys kind of, like, paved the ground for what it became.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. DJ Relapse, Arnold.
Relapse in there, yeah.
Throwing those cool events back there. Really, like, and it was super underground, super low key. Like, if you knew, like, private party. And then you guys come in, slowly start doing the creep there. I know Searcy had his office in the Union House there for a hot minute. Yeah. And, it was a good year working there, and Huff also sharing that space with you. Episode 3, if you want to, catch the interview with Huff. Yeah. That's great, man. So it started as a concert. Started as an idea with a group of friends. Throw your first concert. Year and a half after that, you get your own place, Union House. Slowly take over Union House. Are you still sharing the space? Or are there still other folks in there?
Yeah, totally. There's 2 other folks in there. Okay. There's Spacecraft Studios, which is it's ran by this guy named Noel. Super tremendous dude, and he's helped us a lot through the way. And then Locomotion, which is with Gabe and Helen and all those folks, and they make like podcasts and video game content, that kind of thing. Yeah.
So you're really surrounded by a whole bunch of creatives, even within Union House. Let's talk about so First Fridays, just this last month, super huge for you, becoming official, really making the event official. What other sort of things does For the Culture do? I know you guys got some merch. How else are you out there in the community? I know you guys have done some work. So
yeah, for sure. So we have the events, which are pretty major, and that's like a big idea for platform, right? And then like if you take the thing and like you like look at like the main goal, it's like pretty much to give a platform and eyeballs to like as many people as we can, right?
Exposure, yeah.
And like that's the whole game, So it's like with the events, we can bring maybe 1,000 people or so, but with
that's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
That's a lot.
It is. But with online content, it's also possible to like bring tens of thousands of eyeballs. So the goal is like all the people we work with, artists and creatives and skateboarders and brands and anybody that's like a part of the culture going on, to make videos about them, because like it's like a sort of story that like needs to get told, and then the more it gets told, like the more everybody wins,
Absolutely.
So
rising tide.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the idea for our videos, and then we make clothes also, and that is we make the clothes ourselves, like you design everything. The For the Culture. How to wear the rare stuff for today.
Yeah, that's the exclusive.
Yeah,
exclusive
so we
merch.
we make all the merch, but something we've been moving into is helping other people make their merch. For instance, like a lot of bands that wouldn't necessarily have like the funds or the means to like come up with 20 shirts.
Yeah,
like make a collaborative type thing, like all right, For the Culture Napalm Star shirts, or For the Culture like Eclipse shirts, or
cool.
That kind of thing. So
that's really great, man. Yeah. So you're helping the local artists out, sort of get some feet under them with some other things that they wouldn't normally have access
that's the
to.
Goal.
Yeah. That's great, man.
That's totally the goal.
Really laudable. So, so now that you're official, you're just going to keep doing that and helping the local creatives out. What anything in the cooking pot? Like what's up next for you guys? You guys got something planned? Like
certainly. So the big idea now is like we have 3 things that like we're really good at, and it's hard to even like get good at one thing. So like it's taken years to get good at a few things.
Sure.
So like we have the events, which we know we could do, and we know we can make them better in certain ways. We have the clothes, which we know we could do, but we can make them better. And then the media, which we know we could do, we can make it better. So like, that's the big idea, is to really find ourselves and to come into our own place, like creatively and as a brand and as a group of friends, for all these things. And like that's the big goal. You know? It's like the clothes are great, but like I think we could do something special. You know? And that's the same thing with everything else. Like it's really great, but we could do something more special.
Yeah, that's great, man. I really looking forward to seeing how you guys grow. You've grown so fast, and during the pandemic, you guys, everybody was quiet, right, on lockdown and everything, and then right out of the pandemic, you guys just explode.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
Yeah, ready to go, right? That's so cool, man. That's so cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And
totally.
Yeah, really excited to see what you guys do next. I want to get into some some, and definitely feel free to answer as much or as little of this as possible.
Yeah.
One of the things that people often find as a barrier to getting started is resources. Costs money to rent that space. You got a big team behind you. Are people getting paid? Like how? Yeah. All right, like, you know, you're selling clothes, right? And I forget, does it cost money to get into this event?
Yeah, no, so we are charging.
Okay,
cool.
So, yeah,
so I guess we'll start at the beginning for like people with no resources.
Yeah,
right?
People with no resources.
Because you got to imagine, like, for the culture, it looks very like corporate almost, or like it looks like there's money behind it.
It's very well run. You guys do a tremendous job.
But there's like kind of absolutely no resources for like for 3 years. Kind of getting recent, like it just kind of been out of my pocket, and then like the people that want to help, such as like, you know, Searcy's been a help, and like Numbskull and Jawsh, Ben Giles and Rex, and like all these people, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's like there's not a lot of money, you know, and that's the hard part with starting something, and especially when it takes all your time, is like it takes both your time and your resources, so that leaves you in a funny position. Like, how do you run your life, right?
Exactly.
So that's the hardest part. But the only thing there is for that is, I would say, try not to get an investor for as long as you possibly can, and then just eat beans and rice, you know?
Beans and rice.
It's that kind of thing. Yeah. Like, if you're really about it, you can get like your cost per day really low, like as a human being. It's like, and you still gotta like have nutrition and stuff. But, like, you have to like be honest with yourself, you know? Cause like for the most part, like eating out is like $20, and like you can like make $20 worth of food, you know, and that could be 3 days worth of food. And then it gets to the point where, like, if you have just a couple $100 and, like, you know, there's some stuff you got to do with it, like, sucks, but you're eating cheap, you know.
Sounds like you've been there.
Yeah, no, tons of times. Still get there.
Okay.
You know, because, it's a never-ending grind. But the thing is keeping it alive. Yeah. You know, that's it. That's all we got to do right now is keep this fucker alive. You know?
Keep it alive. Yeah.
And that's, for anybody that's doing stuff, that's all you got to do. Is you got to start and then keep it alive, and that's it. The longer that it's alive, the more likely it is it's actually going to succeed. And then the second that it dies, your success is gone. You know? So like that's kind of the idea there. And it's hard, you know. Like that's the thing. That's what makes it magic. It's like got to be fucking hard.
Yeah. Okay. That's real talk. Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like it's really good for people to hear that because, the time, the money, you know, you're eating the ramen, you know, you're eating the cup of noodles, having a good team behind you keeps you motivated. You know, you got a lot of great people surrounding you and for the culture that work in and for the culture, right? A lot of people with a sort of sharing the same idea. Yeah. Right. And so wrapping yourself around a good idea and then and just being goal oriented and trying to keep the thing alive. I like that message, man.
Yeah, no, it's totally. And it's interesting you touch on ideas because there's a Carl Jung one, and it's like, you know, people don't have ideas, but ideas have people. And that's definitely, I think, the situation that we're in, you know.
Oh, man, like, that almost bears repeating. Ideas have people.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Ideas, you know, they totally take people. And it's been an incredibly lucky thing to have, like, some incredible people with me that like, kind of share the same ideas.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's one thing you touched on, which is the pay, right? Because I think that's something that, like, people don't understand. And I think we've gotten, like, flack on social media for it.
Really?
Yeah, no, because people... Like, it looks like it's really big. It looks like, you know, we're making like tens of thousands of dollars and like there's like money behind it and like, oh, it's a big party. Yeah. Right. And then, like, to give you an example, we didn't pay bands for like 2.5 years. Reason being is like there's literally no money.
Right.
Like, like to this day still have not had like a big profit off for the culture. It's basically, I'd be lucky to get back the money we put in. You know?
Okay.
So it's like, and then that makes it really rough. But when you, I guess, do something so good and it looks like so banging from the outside, people are like, oh, like, how is this thing not like the biggest thing and paying everybody $1,000 and all that?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's something we're definitely working on. To give you an example, we're definitely about like equitable systems, you know, like keeping it fair.
Systems.
Yeah,
okay,
equitable systems.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, musicians, we moved to our first payment, which I'm kind of proud of. We just did it for the last one, but it's $100 per musician, right? And
that's
it's like,
crazy.
And it's like, doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are. It's like, all right, if you want to play, but before it was free, you know, before it was like, all right, come. So now it's $100 for that. And then we're trying to find ways to actually monetize. That's the hard part. For a long time, it's like just straight from the heart, and it's easy when it's straight from the heart to just burn money. Like that's been one of my obsessions is to burn money.
Burn money,
right?
Yeah.
But you also have to like start making money so you could pay people, and like you don't have to pay people a lot, you know, but like at least try to help when you can. For instance, the interns we just got, you know.
Okay.
We were
got some interns.
Yeah, we just got some interns, and we're really straightforward. Like, hey, we don't have a lot of money. We're not going to pay you. But when we can, like, if we're selling shirts and, like, you're there with us, like, you know, you deserve something. So just creating like an equitable system and trying to monetize more.
And people are with that.
Yeah, no, as long as you're transparent. Dude, that's the only thing. As long as you're transparent and keep it a buck and don't lie to people, and when you say you're going to do something, try to do it. Like, for the most part, it goes okay.
That's kind of a stand in your truth situation. So be transparent, be honest, be upfront, you know, be clear about the idea, and people are with you or they're not, you know, and let them make the decision, you know.
Right. And it's like, I think it's a decent idea and like kind of lead from the heart, and like people could feel that, you know, so,
that's true.
So it's okay, you know, and then when you're transparent, it's like, all right, you know, I'm not dealing with like Area 15 here. They don't have like fucking a corporate millions and like this huge thing.
Sure.
It's like a bunch of young people and they're trying to make it work. So I'm going to like maybe make it work with them.
For sure. Yeah.
So.
Definitely will shout out Area 15 though. The people behind that are actually really cool people. Yeah. And they have a lot of money behind them. Mm-hmm. And I know for some of it, you know, humble beginnings for them too, you know, Meow Wolf and
I think
a lot of it.
It's a similar story to us, but it's like if you like take it out 20 years, you know, like if when you have For the Culture in 20 years, then it's like, start tripping on us.
Right. Yeah.
But definitely shout out to Area 15. Like that is what they're doing. I didn't want that to come across like negatively because they are great.
No, not at all.
And what they've done for like the artistic space and just like a general, because like I think none like that ever existed. Like where in the world is it like, all right, we're gonna build a huge warehouse and it's just art, you know, like that's
right.
It's a new thing and it's cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, cool. No, you guys do a tremendous job. You've come up quick. And it sounds like a lot of sacrifice. I know a lot of long nights. You know, a lot of people chipping in where they can. So really, just sweat equity in that place, man. You guys have done a tremendous job. Yeah, like loud applause for you guys because the culture celebrates that, right? Creative culture, getting artists paid. Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, no, and it's
and only 3 years in too. Really, like
we're gonna keep working on it. Definitely gonna keep working on it. I would say one thing I want to kind of touch on is like For the Culture. It's For the Culture. It could be thought of like a platform. That's one thing that I kind of want. Like I describe it as a lot, but I guess like one thing that I want people to like start thinking of as and like how I'm thinking of it. Yeah. It's like I guess there's like phases to like groups of common people. Okay. And like I think like one of the one that people use a lot is a scene, right? Like that's like the rock scene, or like that's just like the Vegas scene.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that we've been through a scene and we're growing into a community, but the ultimate goal is to grow it into a culture. Right. And then once I think it's a culture, there is a real possibility of like Las Vegas being like in history books, like 50 years from now, like there was a cultural revolution, just like similar to like happens anywhere and everywhere that gets like a large enough population that's creatively inclined, you know?
Yeah, that's actually really interesting to hear you talk about that. That's something that I myself think about quite often, you know, like there's, especially when you're outside of Vegas, Vegas, the city, does a lot to brand Las Vegas as the Strip. Yeah. Right. And a lot of people don't realize that there's about 2 million people, a little over 2 million people in Las Vegas, Henderson, Summerlin, which are effectively, you know, Vegas. It's just Las Vegas, right? And there's a huge creative culture out here, and there's just not a lot of light on it because the city does such a good job of keeping the brand of Las Vegas fairly central to the Las Vegas Strip. That's what the world knows Las Vegas as, is that strip, right? But Vegas is so much more than that, and you guys are really shining a big light on the culture, the local culture here, giving people that wonderful platform, getting people paid, which is so difficult. It's
extremely. And I agree with you there that, and it's like it's for good and bad, you know, because like the city kind of needs to have so much like emphasis there, because like that's what brings like insane amounts of tourists and money. So like it's cool, it makes sense. Yeah. But there's also, I think, it's been happening for a second, you know, because you look down on like Main Street. Yeah. They've got like recycled propaganda. You've got the Jamming on Vegas guys.
Isaac. Yeah, recycled propaganda for sure.
You got like even the Waves Alchemy crew. You got like Main Street Peddlers. You have like even the Davy Jones Locker Place and Rebar, and like you've gone like it's like a cultural epicenter that's like starting to brew up. And then across street got Arts Factory, which has had some international acclaim. I think it was like in the New York Times or something like that. Is
For
like,
sure. Yeah.
So people come here because they kind of know what's happening,
Yeah.
but it's because there's like a few really serious people who are, I think, bringing a lot of light to Las Vegas.
Absolutely. Pillars of the community. Yeah. Recycle Propaganda, been here for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Does a lot of the murals, has a wonderful gallery. Rebar, Derek does a lot down there on Main Street and has really been pivotal in getting that place built up to shine like it is, and being a good community organizer. So yeah, shout out to those long timers, you know, being pillars for the local culture, you know, representatives for the local culture. Those are great people. Yeah, and it's really starting to show. I feel like having been in it for a little while, there was a lot of momentum going into 2020, and then of course the pandemic knocked it all down. But then strangely, just as soon as the pandemic's, you know, mostly over for a lot of people, all of these new places in the arts district cropped up. And it's crazy because it brings a new life to it, and it's almost getting a little bit, you know, gentrified, but the art's still there. The long timers are still there. You know, you're there, right? Giving people that platform, and people, I think, are really starting to notice that Las Vegas has a culture outside of the Strip. The arts district is really coming up in that way, and you guys are a huge part of that. So thank you.
Yeah, no, certainly. I can't wait for, I guess, 3 years from now, like 2025, because you go down there.
Okay.
Even the vibe and the essence, you know, is much different than 2019. Like you go and there's
For
art,
sure.
there's art everywhere, and there's people busking, and like, you know, there's like all these bars having fun. Like it's awesome down there.
Yeah.
But 2025, I think it's going to be insane. You know, we're talking about like a hustling, bustling, like artistic, like, you know, Mecca, you know, like this is like, if you're an artistic person, you might be going to Texas, you might be going to Vegas, you might be going to Portland, but like, these are going to be like the places for artistic individuals.
Yeah. No, that's great. Having spoken with a lot of artists over the years, one of the things that a lot of artists have complained about is that Las Vegas doesn't have a bustling art scene. And hearing you talk about it, it's changing.
Yeah, no, it's coming.
It's really changing.
It's coming, and it's gonna be way bigger and way cooler than I think even I expect. You know, it's gonna be, and especially once like the Strip and some of those legacy institutions that, you know, bring a lot of tourists and whatnot. Yeah, it doesn't even take all of them, but just a few of them to start to point some eyes and like resources and effort towards the arts area, and I think it's gonna be insane. Yeah, absolutely insane.
That's great, man. Yeah. It's been such a great pleasure talking to you. Before we wrap it up, is there anything that you would like the people to know? Is there a question I didn't ask you that you really feel like you got to say something about it?
No, I think you've done tremendously. I would like to just try to shout out the For the Culture team. Yeah, as many names as I can remember, and I always feel bad.
Shout them out. Let them know the IG or where they can find them online. You know, put people on, man. Like, let's let people know where do we see all of this great culture.
Cool. I'm gonna try to rattle off like all the names and people associated. If I forget somebody, I'm sorry, because like there's a lot. You know, every
there's
direction.
A lot. Yeah.
But you can find us at For the Culture LV, and that's like everywhere: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you know, TikTok, Vine, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Is Vine still a thing?
No.
Okay, yeah.
But you can't find us at For the Culture, and I guess everybody involved would like to shout out Numbskull, Rex, Jawsh, Searcy, Huff, Benny Digital, Ben Giles, Handsome Nebraska, Patricio, Patrick Gibbons, fucking Ty Speegs, where you at, baby? Who else we got? Bro, we need Max and Ruby. Who else do we got?
Who was at your first concert?
Who was at the first concert? The very first people that were there, it was me, Dan Grams, Marco. I think that was it. Okay. Yeah, shout out Marco, shout out Lurk, shout out Zerby, shout out Rex.
Yeah.
What the fuck else in there? Shout out the Crystal Lady. All right.
Yeah, the Crystal Lady. Don't forget about that Crystal Lady.
Don't forget about the Crystal Lady. But yeah, no, I'm sure I'm sure I've forgotten somebody. But the big idea is like it's a really big team, and it's a group of people who I believe in like more than anybody, and I think they believe in what we're doing, and we believe in each other. I think we're going to do something special.
Yeah, you are doing something special, man. You guys got a shop at the Union House. Can find that on First Street.
Yeah.
Kitty corner to Snowball, iconic here in Las Vegas, across from the English.
Might as well drop that. We just had shop hours. So it's Wednesday to Sunday, 1 to 9 p.m., 917 South First Street.
Yeah, if you're visiting Las Vegas, go check it out.
Yeah, totally.
Get a t-shirt, get a hat. Support the culture.
Support the culture.
Yeah.
Well, as always, it's been Paul Gonzales Esposé. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pleasure, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Searcy.
That's it.
Was that
That was it? Yeah.
Was that the wrap?
I think that's the wrap. Yeah.
Bro, we went pretty deep. That was a nice succinct one.
Yeah.